Hey kiddies, it's Triple Feature Tuesday, and this week we're going to look at English rock stars that decided to be bad guys in movies. That's right, these guys have been actors in a bunch of different movies, but they had these really great turns as not like the main bad guy, but just kind of an intermediary bad guy, or mini boss, if you will. They were just a lot of fun in each of their movies. They added a little bit, they came and they went, and they got good reviews for their performance, even though, primarily they are in the business of rocking hard. Sorta. Well, it was the 80s for a few of them. Anyway, it's an interesting bit of casting. You can almost imagine like the directors in a casting store and the concierge telling all of them, "Congratulations, you have decided that teenage girls will definitely be interested in your movie. Excellent choice, sir." Our menu is going to include the David Lynch version of Dune, Into the Night, and Constantine. Oh, David Lynch's Dune. There's not enough time on YouTube to really discuss David Lynch's Dune to the extent that it really needs to be. It is, everybody has to see it at least once because it is one of the most bizarre things ever captured on film, just in general. But in particular, if you like industrial music, this is sort of your Wizard of Oz. Based on the Frank Herbert novel of the same name, if you don't know the story, it's on Wikipedia. It's pretty famous. I'm not going to go into it. But Sting, Gordon Sumner of The Police, plays Fade Rautha, one of the nephews to the big bad guy, the Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. Sting has really big red hair, and he's wearing rubber or leather in pretty much every scene, and I don't know why, but he doesn't have that many lines in the movie, so most of the time he's just kind of grinning and staring like a crazy person, which undercuts the malice of the character, if I'm gonna be honest. His big scene is at the end when he fights Kyle MacLachlan's Paul Muad'Dib to the death for the fate of the galaxy. You get a lot of good menace and just the cockiness of the character, which Sting is never short of ego, because he's a rock star. Come on, he's the man. He's Sting. He's held the world. Fuck you. I'm not going to be called Gordon Sumner. I'm Sting. So, he's really a lot of fun in it. Just hopping around screaming that he's going to kill Paul, and spoiler alert, he doesn't. But because his part and the movie itself tends to skew more goofy than not, he just isn't the scariest of individuals on today's triple feature. Moving up the Malice ladder, we have David Bowie and John Landis's Into the Night. Now, Into the Night, not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, and I understand. I was confused too, because this was 1980s John Landis, wherein he could do no wrong except for that incident with the Twilight Zone. It stars Jeff Goldblum as Ed, an insomniac who's just wandering around LA because he can't sleep because his wife is cheating on him, and he kind of gets swept up in Michelle Pfeiffer's caper existence and running around with diamonds, trying to escape all sorts of nasty individuals. Not the least of which is David Bowie as Colin Morris, an English hitman. And he's only in the movie for about 5 minutes, but for this movie that's really good because the movie is just overwhelmed by cameos by random people like David Cronenberg, B.B. King, Jim Henson, Carl Perkins. It's just, John Landis always likes to put a lot of random director cameos in his film, but this one, it's just director cameos. And this is part of why the whole thing just doesn't work. But David Bowie is one of the many groups out to get these diamonds that Michelle Pfeiffer and Jeff Goldblum have. He's trying to get information from Jeff Goldblum, and he just sidles up to him and just assumes that Jeff Goldblum is in on the whole thing and knows what's going on, but Jeff doesn't. It gets really creepy. He just very quietly and calmly just sticks his gun in Jeff Goldblum's mouth and starts demanding answers. And it's just weird because it's David Bowie. I mean, you get into, like, there's a height difference between the two that's kind of not astonishing because it's Jeff Goldblum. There's a height difference with everybody except maybe John Lithgow. But it's creepy. And then he pops up again, having murdered an awful lot of people, seemingly with a knife, and gets into a knife fight. David Bowie. And he looks the part the whole time. I mean, he'd done a few movies, including The Hunger and The Man Who Fell to Earth. And he really turned into a great actor, which presumably that's always what he was with all of his different stage personas. But I had never really seen him be this evil. Like Jareth in The Labyrinth is just, kid stuff. But really kind of creepy in this one and just going for it. And so, good on you, David Bowie, and being one of the few good things in Into the Night. Really, just don't. I'll post a clip from the movie, but you don't really need to see the actual movie. It's not that great. Finally, we have Gavin Rossdale of Bush in Constantine. Now, I think we've been over this before. There are camps. I'm firmly in the Constantine was a good movie camp. It was not a great adaptation of the source material, but if you look at it as an Elseworlds in which John Constantine is a superhero, this one kind of works. And it definitely works a lot better than the new 52 version of Constantine, which is just a damn shame. Gavin Rossdale plays Balthazar, one of the half-demon, half-human things. I've never really been clear on what the hell the angels and demons things were in the whole movie. And he's kind of he's the intermediary hench person of the big bad of the film. And he plays it very understated. He's just very quiet, but if you look at his eyes, even without like the goofy half demon gag, he just exudes malice. He's just evil permeating, and like he walks in and just talks about how Constantine's going to hell and everybody's excited and it's going to be great. Then he's making fun of Constantine's coughing because he's got cancer. Then just the scene where Pruitt Taylor Vince buys it and he's just calmly walking through as Pruitt Taylor Vince is drowning in his own fluids, and Gavin Rossdale's just sipping on his water. And then in his last scene with Keanu, he's just great, sniveling, evil, wormy demon guy. And I had never actually seen him, Gavin Rossdale, in a movie before, so it was, there's no expectation to it. But he really, really knocked it out of the park. And of the characters in it, he's just really dangerous and murderous throughout the whole film, working behind the scenes. It's really, really great. As is the movie Constantine. As I said, I'm a fan. So, English rockers playing bad guys in movies. Dune, Into the Night, and Constantine. And I'll see you guys next week.